All right, what's going on, guys? This Reaps here. I got some tips and tricks here for you that are gonna be able to help you out with transferring from console to PC for Shadowkeep, and even those that are already on PC and just gonna be starting out in Shadowkeep. I started playing PC around a year ago, and these are just some things I've found that would have been really helpful when first starting. So the biggest thing is going to be your sensitivity. You want your sensitivity to be a little bit lower. When I first started, had mine at 11 and then a 1.0. And while that did help me at the time just for switching to PC, I noticed that I was missing a lot of shots. So this is definitely going to be something that will help you if you lower it, especially if you have a larger mouse pad like I do. You'll be able to take it even lower and be able to see that your accuracy is just going to skyrocket. So this is just like one of the biggest things I can mention. Just play around with this. This is something that you can do as you're just playing the story. You'll be able to notice what you need to do if you're obviously going way over your targets whenever you're just trying to snap to them. You really need to lower your sensitivity. While if you're not making it to your target when you think you should have, again, lower your sensitivity. And another big tip that I've found out from other YouTubers and streamers is if you can't do a full 360 by taking your mouse completely across your mouse pad, then your sensitivity is too low and you need to raise it. So key mapping, this is another thing that's just going to be personal preference. I have mostly left all the keys the same. The only thing I did change was the class ability and then my inventory. Those are both set up to go straight to my mouse just because that's how I like it, ease of access. Another thing that you could do if you don't like how you switch weapons, which is with the 1, 2, 3. There's always the mouse wheel. I would not recommend that. Mouse wheel is going to be the worst thing to use just because if you're trying to switch to your heavy from your primary, you may switch to your secondary and then you're going to, not have out your heavy like you wanted. It's just a horrible habit to get into, so never do that. If you're going to use anything, use either the 1, 2, 3 to switch your weapons, or you can change it to have your weapons set up to a keybind where it'll switch from your secondary and your primary with the click of a button, and then your heavy can be on another button entirely. So you'll know which weapons you're switching to. So that's definitely one of my biggest tips I would hand out is that one right there. Now as for video, I like windowed full screen. That way I can just, tab out if I want to look at another screen. Um, if you don't have a 144 hertz monitor, cap your monitor out either with a VSync or frame rate cap to whatever your monitor can go to. You do not want to go past that just because then you're going to start getting screen tearing, and that's just a no go. Um, I'm planning on upgrading myself to a 144 hertz monitor just because I mean I play the game a lot, so I think it'll be definitely be worth it. But if you're just starting out, 60 frames, you're going to see a vast improvement from console regardless. My field of view, I like my field of view maxed out. I mean, that's just personal preference again. You can play with that as you're in the game and see what you like best. Now, when it comes to graphics, just go into NVIDIA, let your graphics settings on there set up the game for you, and then I'd just go off that. That's what I've done here. Only thing that I would recommend is take off motion blur and wind impulse. Motion blur is just going to blur your vision whenever you're switching, like moving back and forth really fast. Wind impulse, again, you don't really need it. I mean, it's just like if you're running through past a bush, it's going to make the bush move. I mean, cool aspect, don't get me wrong, but it's also just going to waste some of your graphics power whenever you could be using it somewhere else. Sound, I like my volume low. I don't like having my ears blown off every time I start up the game or listen to something. I always have my music off too, just because the music gets on my nerves. So again, personal preference. You can set this up any way you'd like. Gameplay, reticle color. This is probably one of the biggest things a lot of people do change. I like the white. I feel like the other colors kind of distract me, so I don't really get to focus that much on what I'm shooting at. Helmet, I always have mine always on, just because I like the helmets in this game. I think they look pretty cool. FPS display. That's how I get this number up here to show me how many frames per second I'm getting. And it might be a little silly to have that on where it's only capped at 60, but then I can know what if ever my frames drop below that due to like a lot of explosions or something going on. That'll be able to show me right there. And then I think that's it on for this that I've been able to change or wanted to change. Now, if you go to accessibility, this is where you'll find your colorblind mode. A lot of PvP players use this and they change theirs. I have not done it just because I don't get distracted enough to where I need to look up to the corner a lot for the yellow. I'm fine with looking for the red. It pops out to me still, but a lot of PvP players do recommend to switch it to yellow. That way it catches your eye more whenever you have a player near you. But then again, personal preference. Subtitles, I always have mine on just because I like to read everything as it's going on and listen to it. Again, weird quirk of mine, but that's just what I like to do. Other than the settings side of everything, I think my biggest tip would be to not play PvP when you first start on PC. I mean, if you would like to, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it just because you might get bashed on and then it's going to ruin the game for you and the experience, and you're really going to hate PvP after that. So I'd definitely just stick to the story portion of the game. That's going to help you get your accuracy and everything down in the beginning and help you just learn your buttons and your keys and everything as you're playing the game. After you finish up the story, then I would recommend going into play Crucible. I would definitely recommend going into like maybe the middle mode here. It's usually just like a little fun mode. Mayhem is always fun to play, especially if you're new to the game, because then you can just spam your supers, heavy spawns more often. You can just have a lot of fun with it. I mean, it's just a fun game mode to get into. If you want a little bit more serious, you can play quick play. Again, it's not like buckle down and you better win. You just have some fun with it. This is where you can like learn to play. Now, if you really want to jump into Crucible and learn how to play fast, I'd recommend Rumble. It's a free-for-all type of mode, so you have to worry about everybody around you. You don't have any teammates, so it's all on you. This is definitely where I'd go if you want to learn PvP. Stay away from comp until you feel confident in your gameplay, because it will make or break you in comp. It's a little rough on PC. But other than that, guys, those have been all my tips and tricks that I can offer you um, for starting out. I don't even know why I'm saying tricks. There's no tricks. It's just the tips. Just the tip. Anyway, so yeah, this is my first video. I thank you for watching all the way through if you did. And if you'd like to see more of my videos or hear more of my stupid voice, you can just hit the subscribe button. That'll really help me out, and leave a like on the video. And if you want to, leave a comment down in the description. Give me some feedback, some criticism. Tell me things you'd like to see from me or things that you would like to see done in Destiny, and I'll try to cover those. I'm wanting to get my name out there a little bit more, and I think this would be a good way to do it. But anyway, thanks, guys. Thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.